on it. Yes.
Just so you know, we're gonna fight every urge not to open drawers, but it's in our DNA.
See, there's John Lewis.
Yeah.
So there we are on the Edmund Pettis Down.
Oh,
Wow.
Honey, Madam Vice President.
Welcome today, everyone, to the White House. I'd like to briefly answer some questions. Go ahead, I'm ready.
JVN.
Oh, yes.
Is it true that is all your natural hair?
Yes, I can confirm that this is not a wig.
Follow-up
Thank you so much for
question,
asking.
do
No
you use your own
extensions.
products?
I do use JVN hair, actually exclusively for over 4 years. Next question.
Is it true Karamo is your favorite member of the Fab Five?
I will say that I can confirm that Cromwell Brown is my favorite member of the Fab. I also have a very strict...
All right, guys, so we got to go out to Clown World, California, USA, San Francisco, because there was a mayoral debate that was pretty fascinating, to say the least. Now, we should all be familiar with the mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, who was a huge hypocrite during the lockdown. She pushed lockdowns in her city and mask mandates while she partied and went to clubs, maskless, right? She was doing her thing. Just one of the very few hypocrites who have not faced accountability for their hypocrisy and their unconstitutional mandates during the pandemic. And she's also soft on crime. She's woke. She's pro-defund the police. She has ran this city even more into the ground than it already was before she took office, right? So again, she hasn't done a great job. She's a progressive, and she's facing off against other woke progressives to determine who should be the next mayor of San Francisco, okay? And there was a pretty wild moment here during this debate at the end when they had the opportunity to ask each other questions, because they're essentially going to get in a debate about who is the most woke among them on stage, okay? And it's one of the most cringe things that I've ever seen. But before we get into it, I actually want to play a news clip so you guys get a better understanding of exactly kind of how this debate went down before this disastrous ending.
Round 4 is your local election headquarters. For the second time, the top 5 candidates for mayor in San Francisco debated the city's top issues. This includes homelessness, affordability, crime in the city, and it didn't come without several candidates targeting the incumbent mayor, London Breed, and then taking attacks at each other. Ground 4's Jack Molman reports.
Well, the debate may be over, but the energy that filled this room will stick with the candidates through November. It took place here at UC Law in the Tenderloin. It's one of the many neighborhoods in which many of the candidates running for mayor say the current administration has not done enough to keep people safe. 5 candidates running to become San Francisco's mayor, duking it out on the top issues. At the top was public safety. Former Mayor Mark Farrell says Mayor London Breed's policies have forced police officers out of their jobs.
I will restore the staffing levels inside of our San Francisco Police Department to make sure we have lateral recruits, support Supervisor Dorsey's drop program, and fully fund our police academy.
Mayor Breed then responded, saying it was Farrell's budget when he was mayor that drove police away.
And to be clear, when he was mayor, his contract was one of the reasons why many of the officers decided to leave in the first place.
But no matter what the facts are, candidate and Levi Strauss heir Daniel Lurie says people don't feel safe.
City Hall insiders that are on this stage with me have built up a broken, ineffective, and corrupt City Hall bureaucracy.
And with the drug epidemic and 3,000 overdoses since 2020, candidates also targeted Breed's administration. SF Supervisor Ahsha Safai.
Be clear, folks, we are failing as a city. There is no other issue that defines San Francisco right now more than our overdose crisis.
And SF Supervisor Peskin says it's not just a public safety issue, but a public health crisis.
We need to stop with the finger pointing and come together around these overdoses, around these mental health crises, the way we did during COVID-19.
At the end of the debate, candidates had a chance to shoot questions at each other.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to react to here, okay? Because they had a chance to ask each other questions, presumably about the problems of San Francisco, because there's so many problems that, you would think that you would use this time to actually discuss real substantive issues that are happening in the city, okay? But that's not what they did. Mayor London Breed thought that it would be a great idea to ask her opponents, essentially, how many LGBTQ people do they have as a part of their staff or their administration or whatever they do. Okay, basically, she's asking them to virtue signal their wokeness instead of talk about the actual real issues in that city.
I'd like to ask Mark a question. You were at the Harvey Milk LGBT Democratic Club and couldn't name any LGBT advisors to your campaign. You were at the debate last week and couldn't name any drag queens on your own. I was wondering if you could, this is an opportunity to redeem yourself. And if you could name 3 LGBTQ advisors for your campaign and 3 drag queens in San Francisco.
Wow. Wow. This is why American politics is a clown show. I'm so serious. Like, this is the level of seriousness that our politicians have in this country, guys, where they are using time at a debate to ask their opponents how many drag queens do they know, as if that has anything at all to do with your job as mayor, right? Out of all the questions in the world that she could have asked her opponent, that could be about real issues, okay? Crime, businesses leaving, drugs, housing, prices been out of control. Yes, I know they discussed a lot of these things during the debate, but I guarantee you they didn't talk about it enough, right? That's how many problems this city has. Instead of talking about the real issues, asking a question about the real issues, you ask a question, how many LGBTQ people do you have on your staff? How many drag queens do you know? You don't know any drag queens. That's terrible. That means that you are a terrible candidate for mayor. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's just as ridiculous as when they do the same thing when it comes to race. Well, how many blacks do you have on your staff? You don't have enough black people that work for your company, right? Like, they ask you crazy stuff like that. Again, they want you to virtue signal your wokeness. Tell us how woke you are. As if, again, that is a requirement for the job. But who knows? Maybe it is in San Francisco. I don't know. But the fact that she felt the need to ask that question, that she thought that was like some type of gotcha, or that she is saying something negative about him because he can't name any drag queens, it just tells you how screwed up this city is. It just tells you how messed up the voter base of this city is, right? Where their priorities are at. Just the fact that she felt that it was appropriate to even ask a question like that she could get away with asking a question like that. Because I can tell you, any political candidate, I don't care what position you're running for, if you ask a question like that, you should automatically be disqualified. I can't vote for any candidate that will ask a silly ass question like that. I'm just saying, we're not sending our best and our brightest to the higher offices in this country.
So we're not going to revise the drag queen question from last week. But what I will say is I'm incredibly proud of the support that I have from our LGBTQ plus community here in the San Francisco. Thank you. I have a former member of the Board of Supervisors, Jeff Sheehy, who is a close friend and a supporter of my campaign. I have a member of my staff, 2 members of my staff from the queer community here in the city of San Francisco that I won't dignify this question by actually naming exactly who they are. But what I will do is stand by my record in supporting our queer community here in the city of San Francisco. When I was a member of the Board of Supervisors, as a straight white male, I was the one who authored legislation to make sure that same-sex couples that work for the city of San Francisco, they were being taxed by our federal government for their health care benefits before same-sex marriage was legalized. I was the one who authored the legislation to make sure the city of San Francisco reimbursed those same-sex couples so they are treated equally in the eyes of San Francisco residents, equally in the eyes of San Francisco City Hall. I will stand by my record of that, and I look forward to the continued support from our queer community throughout the city of San Francisco. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Wow. So again, this guy just did the tap dance for a minute and a half straight. Okay, that's how easy it is to get these woke liberals to just do the woke tap dance, right? Just, you know, imply that they may be a bigot or that they're not woke enough, and this is what they do. Okay. Again, it's embarrassing. It really is. Again, this guy automatically would be disqualified. Disqualified. Him and London Breed. So yeah, this is what they're talking about. This is what they're debating about in San Francisco, right? How many drag queens do you know? How many LGBTQ folks have you hired? Right? Apparently that is a qualification to be mayor, according to London Breed. And it really just shows you how unserious the political leadership in this country really is. Okay, this is the reason why cities like San Francisco and Oakland, a Portland, a Seattle, and LA, a Memphis, or a Washington D.C., you name it, right? Chicago. This is why these cities have fallen off a cliff, because of the leadership. This is the way they're thinking. They think what's important are these types of issues that, again, don't really have an effect on everyday people's lives, right? Like, how many lives are you improving by knowing a drag queen, right? Or hiring LGBTQ people on your staff? You really should just be hiring the most qualified people, and you shouldn't worry about who they like to sleep with, or whether or not they like their genitalia or their race or their sex. You really should just be hiring the best person for the job, to be quite honest with you. But again, apparently in 2024, that is a form of hate and bigotry. It is a form of discrimination if you choose not to discriminate, right? That is where we're at, okay? That is clown world, right? So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.